day. It's day 11. Day 11. And we've got a lot of stuff to do. First, we've got to... The sun is far away. We've got a guy to hatch. The womb is actually up here. Oh, that's the kitchen. Quantum computer, kitchen, womb. Quantum kitchen, there's the womb. Okay, let's wake up the scientist. Hey there.
Hey, how are you feeling? Well, I'll be damned. You okay? Surprisingly okay. Especially considering what I'm seeing. Very clearly. Good. Do you, remember your name? Of course. But... I think you know perfectly well who I am.
Yep.
So let's not waste time. Just tell me, how much did you find? What? How much rupidium is there? Did we get a breakthrough?
You seem to know a lot.
Yeah, you bet. There's a lot of it. Good. That's good. Wait, how do you know? Well, isn't it obvious? I wake up seeing someone who looks and sounds like me, which has to mean we share the same DNA. Then there's the glasses. What about them? They're fake. Probably just manufactured to make me feel more like myself, but completely unnecessary otherwise, because here I am with perfectly good eyesight in the womb module, which can only lead to one conclusion: that my body was created to replicate someone who doesn't wear glasses. You. And to do that, of course, you would need to have found rupidium. Besides, I can see no other explanation for a sheep inside a space base. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're taking this surprisingly well.
Well, you're wrong about one thing. You are my duplicate. I created you using rupidium, but we're not identical. I've noticed you're not as quick to process information, and that's the interesting part. Yeah, our bodies are the same, but our minds are not. I needed a scientist on board, but there's always a scientist on board. So, what went wrong? The old crew is gone. They're all dead. That's why I needed to alter myself into different versions, with the use of the quantum computer on board and something called mind records. Oh, I see. A recalculated mind based on an infinite amount of variables to contain the desired consciousness in a biological vessel. That actually sounds plausible. So, what do you need from me now?
Get some rest.
Why don't you rest? Get accustomed to the new reality? Which part of what I just said makes you think I'm not ready to start immediately? Well, in that case, your situation must be critical considering the lengths you went to. Something tells me there's no time to lose. You're right. Why don't you start with going through the mission logs? I need to get the full picture first. My thoughts exactly. Good. this might work.
You're taking this surprisingly well. I found something peculiar.
I found something peculiar on the planet. What exactly was peculiar about it? Everything. It was like a local distortion of reality. And it seemed to be emitting strong radiation. Yes. We could have expected to come across something like that sooner or later, according to reports from previous missions. Unidentified sources of radiation, unexplained electromagnetic field anomalies, distortions of matter, space, or even gravity. What are they? According to a bold theory fleshed out by Professor Frankov, they may be instances of the so-called interval. The what? Interval. In very simple terms, it's a non-coincidental superposition of potential universes.
Simpler terms.
We don't know exactly why it occurs, but observations prove that under certain, not yet specified conditions, two or more parallel landscapes can coexist within a common quantum field, creating a so-called proximity plane.
Sure.
Yeah, it felt like something was materializing from out of nowhere right in front of my eyes. Let's keep our heads cool. It's just a theory. No one's ever proved it right. If, and I stress if, Professor Frankov's intuition is right, then the distortion you have encountered could have been a puncture point. The spot where the proximity plane intersects with our observed universe, subverting its physical balance and distorting the rules of Newtonian mechanics. We need to learn more about these peculiarities. Inform me at once if you come across another one.
Okay, static anomaly. Common on the surface is violently immobile and rather harmless. Careless explorer steps in one day will suffer from a radiation surge. That seems bad. That seems bad. Right, assignments. I'm gonna stick the scientist in the research lab. So you're good at base maintenance, you're good at mining metals. So you're gonna go to the mineral. You're gonna get minerals. Why don't you go to metals and you go to minerals? Have I got anything that needs to be refined? And we can produce so you need metal and minerals. We're probably going to need radiation filters soon, I'm guessing. Yeah, we've got 2 filters left. We're going to need some more filters. So we've got an outpost here. Got something else here, and we've got some shallow minerals here. Let's head to this outpost and... Okay, so I need the drill cartridges as well. So hang on, let's go over and grab some metals. Right. You can go... I need... What are you researching? Crossing the lava river and... that. I'm actually going to set you first. And you. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the base. And I'm going to work the refinery. And then I need at least 2 of you. And now I'm going to work in the workshop. Cool, getting some radiation filters. Yan, you were in the kitchen. It's a womb, and you've got something to show me.
So, how are you? Settling in all right? Settling in is overrated. I analyze reality from wherever I am, however uncomfortable the angle. There's always an observation to be made. I'd love to hear what you managed to observe. This place is not run optimally.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't trained to command a mission. But now that you're here, with your experience, I'd love to pick your brain. Do you think you could mentor me? Good thinking. First of all, you need to set long-term goals and draw up a roadmap for each of them. Remember to include all unpredictable variables in the equation. That way you can have contingency plans at the ready for each instance. All right, slow down. Prioritize resources. Do not waste time on idle conversations with the crew. Hide the booze. Don't be cheap on coffee. That's slow enough for you?
Idle conversations like this one.
You mean idle conversations like the one we're having now? Like the one you're trying to turn this into? I'm not falling for it. Truth is, I really wish we could make use of the tech I worked on for all these imaginary years. It would make things so much easier if it existed.
What was it?
So what exactly was your research about? Nanotech in space exploration. We went from a humble startup to making headlines in a few months. Taking our solutions to the front line was my dream come true. The data we could bring back. You had big plans for it. Well, now it's all gone.
Well, it'll have to be.
Yeah. I understand how lousy that must feel. Honestly, I don't think you do. But I hope we're not going to sit around crying about it. There's work to be done, here and now. That's true. Well, let's get to it then.
So let's go up to the up to the quantum computer, where we're going to install this qubit. So we now have another slot where we could get a doctor or a shrink, guard, the botanist, the refiner. But I don't think we need you yet.
I spotted a few loose screws here and there. Makes me wonder if you're not trying to break things to look busy. If you're bored enough to start conspiracy theories, I can find you something to do. Easy, I'm just messing with you. How are you?
Let's go sleep. And that is a good place to call it for this episode. Thanks for watching.